Welcome to the Your Life Rocks podcast, where we believe life balance is possible for working moms. Yes, even for you. I'm your host, fellow working mom, Jenny Stemmerman. Each week, I'll bring you practical, real-life tips to help you focus on the things that matter most in life and to help you be the best version of yourself in every area that God has called you to. Ready to build a life that rocks? Let's go. Hey there, welcome to the show. I hope 2019 so far has been a great year for you. If you've listened to the last couple episodes, then you know that we have been talking about goals. Well, because it's a new year and that's the thing to talk about, right? Setting goals, intentions, selecting your word for the year. And this has also been a hot topic in our Facebook community and in our membership community. I truly want to help support you for the most amazing 2019 and really want to equip you to be able to help you to reach whatever goals or intentions you are setting for yourself. I hope that even in one small little way, I can help you get to where you want to go and, more importantly, where God is calling you to be. If this is your first time listening into the Your Life Rocks podcast, welcome. I'm so glad that you found the podcast for working Christian moms. Now, normally each episode is kind of like a little mini workshop. I'm all about giving you the practical tools that will really make a difference in your life. But this episode is a little bit different. I don't have 3 steps, 5 steps, 10 steps for you in directing you in any one direction. Now, this is the last episode in our goal setting series, and it's a little bit of a shorter one. But rather than it just being a shorter episode and not having those action items like we normally have, I want it to be a bit of a choose your own adventure. So at the end of this episode, I will be pointing you to another episode that will meet you right where you are at. And best part is, you get to choose. Because here is the truth when it comes to goal setting. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. I mean, we can set the very best of intentions and we can plan it all out, like every little detail, all of the actions. But when it comes to actually doing what needs to happen, we can fizzle out. Or maybe instead of fizzling out or losing your motivation, you keep getting hit in the face with obstacles that you never saw coming. And sometimes those obstacles can just be that you get tired. Like exhaustion hits in from all of the things. And we've set these huge expectations for ourselves in setting intentions that are just not necessarily working out. It's just not coming into play the way that we had planned it to, or the way that we hoped it would, or even anticipated that it would be happening. Now, I know for me, when I am goal setting and planning, I am not always realistic. That is not something I am good at doing. I am naturally a dreamer. I'm an optimist. I'm a believer. And while I love that God made me that way, sometimes I can plan for the very best, and when reality does not deliver it as planned, it leaves me sometimes feeling a bit like a failure. Or I get frustrated, or I get sad, or I get mad. It does not always end well. Let's just put it that way. And it can be hard. And the reason why it's hard is because I get so tied to the outcome. I set goals with expectation, strong expectations. And there's nothing wrong with it, I don't think. In fact, I still stand to setting goals with a clear vision of an outcome of what you want. It sets the direction in which you want to go. But we also have to be open to the journey, because in the journey of getting to where you want to go, God will teach us things. He'll teach you things. He'll show you things. You will get a chance to go deeper, to learn more about yourselves, to learn more about Him, and you'll actually get to learn more about what you really want. That's where clarity really comes into play. I can't even tell you how many times I thought that I wanted something and I'd set a goal and a vision for it, but in the process of trying to get it, God showed me that I should probably just let it go. It's not something that was really in alignment with what I want after all. But we don't always know that until we start into the journey of getting to where we think we want to go. But sometimes we just need to hold on to that vision and just do what's right in front of us and not to worry so much about all of the details. Because truly, if we are in alignment with God when we're setting our goals, then God will take care of the details. And sometimes He does it in ways that we could never, ever dream up, ways that we could never, ever expect. And if He has done that for you in your life, you can say amen right now. Even though I can't hear you, I just know because I've talked to you. We've talked over email or over Instagram messages or in our Facebook group, and you've showed me, you've shared stories about the way that God has answered prayers in the most unexpected ways. When you've set an intention on where you want to go and God brought you there, but in a journey, in a direction, and down a path that you never could have imagined on your own. And sometimes we just need to give ourselves some grace, and we need to set some realistic expectations around our goals. Now, I still am all for setting big goals, dreaming big, but the expectations on when we get there or how we get there, we maybe need to let go of just a little bit and give ourselves some grace. And you guys, I have to be very transparent. I really, really, really don't like that at all. When I'm in a season of my life that I feel like God is calling me to calm down a bit with all of the things, a season of rest, I feel like I'm like lowering the bar, like lowering the standard or the expectation for my life. But really, I find that when I change my perspective, we're not lowering our standards or settling for less. We are choosing to rest in Him and to trust Him to help us grow on a deeper level. Now, look, I know our audience spans all over the world, all kinds of different lifestyles. I know that we have moms who are listening to this that have little babies at home. And I know we have moms listening to this that are raising teenagers and a lot of moms in the middle. And each season of our child's growth and development is a different season for us as their mom. You'll go through different seasons in your career life where it's going to be time to go on to the next level and to really push it. And then there's going to be times to maybe reevaluate and decide if you're still on the path that you want to be on. There are going to be seasons where your marriage comes easy and seasons where your marriage is going to take a little more work. There are going to be seasons of health and seasons of disease or not health. And that is all part of life. But when we're setting our goals, when we're holding ourselves to these expectations, we have to realize the season that we're in and give ourselves some grace for that season. But when you're in those seasons that you are feeling called to slow down and to rest a little bit, it's important that we don't waste those seasons. And it's important that we recognize that that rest comes from Him and that we avoid things that can be of the flesh, because it's so easy to just be like, okay, we're slowing down, we're lowering the bar, and that's where the justifications and excuses and unhealthy behavior can start to come into play. There is a huge difference in taking a season to rest and to seek God in a deeper way, or choosing to not do the things that we all know bring good fruit, right? And if that's a season that God is calling you into right now in the new year, a season of rest, a season of going deeper, God bless you, because it's a hard season sometimes to be in, especially when you tend to be a little bit more ambitious and wanting to grow and wanting to move and wanting to do all these things. But when God is calling you to do something, that's where you really need to soften your heart and align your actions with Him. Now, on the flip coin of that, there are seasons where we are called to take new ground, and our goals and our intentions reflect that. And if that's the case for you, God bless you and go for it. Dream big, take those big actions, be courageous, and have that faith of knowing everywhere you go, He has gone before you. He is right there next to you, and amazing. I love those seasons, but it's not to take away from those seasons that we're called to stay where we are and to see what God has for us right there in the moment. And there's wisdom to knowing the difference. And it can be frustrating when we want one thing, but God has other plans. Trust me, following His will is a much better way to go. I've learned it the hard way so many times because I tend to be a bit hard-headed. But it's always worth it when we can just be in obedience to Him in whatever season we're called in. And the reason why I wanted to do this episode is to give you permission, because I know I've heard from some of you in our Facebook group who have made all your plans and you've done all these things, and yet at the end of the day, you're too exhausted to actually do them. Or some of you that are setting really big goals and they're scary for you. I've gotten a couple direct messages on Instagram from a few of you that are listening to the show, and you're doing the exercises that we've had in the last couple episodes, and it's starting to scare you a little bit because they're big things that you're going for and that God is opening up amazing doors for you. And know that I'm here cheering you on. So if you find yourself planning your week to reach your goals and you're just not able to follow through on what you're planned because you're tired, or you're just not able to find your groove, maybe you need to rest. Maybe you need to reevaluate your goals. Or maybe you just need better sleep and some vitamins. But you know how you know the difference? You get into the Word, you pray, you seek confirmation in the Word, you pray more, and you let God reveal Himself to you. Now, sometimes His answer is easier to find than others. But if you lean in, you will find it. So as you're setting goals for this new year, and I'm sure your goals are already set by this point, you're casting those visions, you're dreaming big, and you're starting to make traction and moving those mountains and getting to where you want to go. Just remember to hold them very loosely in your hands. Set the intention, but let go of the expectation. Ask God to direct your steps. And while you have cast that vision forward, don't worry about seeing anything beyond what is right in front of you. You know, when the Bible says that the lamp is guiding our path, if you're thinking about walking down a path at night with like a little lamp, all you can really see is what's right directly in front of you. And that's okay. It's about trusting Him in the journey to get there and giving yourself grace if you end up down a path that's very different than what you originally thought you were setting out for. It doesn't mean you're a failure. It doesn't mean that you are less than, or that you're not capable or smart enough or disciplined enough. Sometimes we need to hold our goals very loosely in our hands, knowing that we need to trust God and follow the direction He has for our life. And if it's the same direction we want to go, hallelujah. Those are great times. But sometimes it's not, and that's okay too. Okay, so I told you this message would be short. There's no action steps like usual, but I do want to direct you back to a couple of other episodes depending on where you are. All right? So if you're finding that you are in a season of expansion, meaning your energy is good and you feel like you are in stride with God and ready for growth and possibilities, I invite you to go back and listen to episode 74. It's called Mindset of Balance for Ambitious Women, and we will link to it in the show notes page over on yourliferocks.com, or if you follow me over on Instagram, I'll be sharing it there as well in the Insta stories. But it's episode 74, Mindset of Balance for Ambitious Women. If you feel like, Lord, right now I'm in a season where I could just take on the world, that episode is definitely for you. Now, if you feel like you're in a season of rest, like it or not, then I want you to go back and listen to episode 63. It's called Cut the Overwhelm Through Obedience. Or if you're just not sure about setting goals right now and you're looking for a direction, then check out episode 47. It's your ultimate job description in God. And one last recommendation for you. If you are new to Your Life Rocks and you're still not sure about balance and if it's something that's really possible for you, but you really like the idea of it, I invite you to check out episode 116. It's 3 steps for creating balance in your life. It's our most popular episode that we have had so far, and it really is the fundamental of everything that we teach here at Your Life Rocks. Now, again, I will link to all of these past episodes in the show notes for this show. I'll also make sure I link to them inside of our Facebook community and over on Instagram. Now, if you want to find me on Instagram, you can go to your.life.rocks. And of course, links to everything that we have, including our Facebook group, Instagram, the show, everything, head on over to yourliferocks.com. Now, another easy way of finding these episodes that I've recommended is to download the Your Life Rocks app. Now, inside the app, you have access to all of our past episodes, all of the library. This is episode 172, so there's a lot of episodes to go back and listen to. But you also have access to our free course called Weekly Success Planning, and our free weekly success planning tool is inside the app as well. So you can track all of those things that you need to do to really set yourself up for success using just a couple hours on the weekend. Now, if you're ready for more, I invite you to check out Life Balance Membership, and you can upgrade right inside of the app. We have a free 7-day trial for you to start out, try it out. You can access the first course. It's a 7-day audio course, so each day you'll listen to a new audio message, do a new exercise that's associated with that. It's called Clear the Chaos, and I designed it to give you immediate relief. So if you're feeling extra stressed or overwhelmed, that is a great course for you to take. Inside Life Balance Membership, it's the first course, and try it for free for the first 7 days. So next week we kick off a brand new series. I'm so excited to bring it to you because I have a lineup of incredible lifestyle experts to share their wisdom on all 8 areas of our life. So we're going to be kicking it off, talking all about your finances and some practical tips, regardless of what your financial goals are for the new year, on how you can stay on course and stay focused. We'll be chatting with Sammy Womack from A Sunny Side Up Life, and she has some really great tips. I'm so excited to share it with you. So until then, keep building a life that rocks. Bye.